Yesterday, I shared a poem by Shan, Cold Mountain. It says, "The clear water sparkles like crystal. You can see through it easily, right to the bottom. My mind is free from every thought. Nothing in the myriad realms can move it." Shan was a Chinese hermit, poet, Zen master. And my commentary was, when heart and mind are clear, we're open to the vastness of life, free of the poisons of attachment, aversion, and confusion. And that reminded me of one of the final instructions by Hongzhi in cultivating the empty field. It's called the Noninterference in the Matter of Oneness. Hongzhi says, the matter of oneness cannot be learned at all. The essence is to empty and open out body and mind, as expansive as the great emptiness of space. Naturally, in the entire territory, all is satisfied. This strong spirit cannot be deterred. In event after event, it cannot be confused. The moon accompanies the flowing water. The rain pursues the drifting clouds. Settled, without a grasping mind, such intensity may be accomplished. Only do not let yourself interfere with things, and certainly nothing will interfere with you. Body and mind are one suchness. Outside this body, there is nothing else. The same substance and the same function, one nature and one form, all faculties and all object dusts are instantly transcendent. So it is said, the sage is without self, and yet nothing is not himself. There's some good instructions there. The essence is to open out body and mind, as expansive as the great emptiness of space. That is what Cold Mountain and Shan means when the clear water sparkles like crystal. My mind is free from thought. Nothing in the myriad realms can move it. When it is possible to empty your mind, to allow thought to simply stop or come to rest. That's what they're describing here. When a sense of self, when we're not thinking, when we're not storytelling, when we allow that to just settle, then where does the self go? It disappears. And then there is no separation. I think that's what they're getting at here. That's when the water is clear and you can see to the bottom. But it's very much related in our practice of letting go of that storytelling, allowing ourselves to let go of self. And, often I've heard the fear is I'll disappear, I'll be no more. And yes, that's true, but but we're not destroyed. That's the ego's fear, that it will be no more. But what I'm saying is we don't need to fear it will arise again. The stories will begin again. Your ego will manifest again. Our permeability will solidify again. And then the task is to let go again during our sitting. And again, and again, and again. That is the practice. It's a practice of letting go in the safety of your zazen. And when we can open our mind and our body as wide as space itself, that is the everythingness, the emptiness. It's nothing to fear. So we can practice that in our sitting. Many, 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 many times. Many little times. Many little letting goes. So when the time comes that that this existence, as we know it and experience it, ends, we know what to do. There's nothing to be afraid of because we've practiced. Scott was mentioning Taizan earlier, and for me, uh, one of the greatest gifts he gave us at the end was that uh, courage. He showed us what to do. He taught us how we can let go with courage and with wonder. And I would suggest that the more we can practice that in our life, the happier we'll be. We won't get uh, so beat up, so ruffled. You know, when we get knocked down, it won't be as painful and bad. We'll know how to get up again. We'll know how to right ourselves, to dust ourselves off and sit again. To let go of the, concerns that we can do nothing about. All those things that we worry about that we can't do anything about. That will allow us to be present. And that's where life is. That's where our agency is. That's the only place we can do anything. It's not in the past, it's not in the future, it's right here. So, a number of different themes tonight. I hope that made sense, some kind of sense. But I would very much like to hear from you if you have any comments or questions or reflections.
Can you talk about the statement, interfere with nothing and nothing will interfere with you?
Well, in terms of meditation and the mind, one way I understand that is to not hold very tightly to our conceptual view of things, of circumstances. If we don't try and sort of block and frame in, this constantly changing, ongoing present moment and experience, then when we do that, it's sort of like damming a river. You put stones and sticks and things in a flowing river, and the force is, you know, going to try to move it. It bothers it. So the less we do that, the less bothered we are, the less resistance there is. But it's challenging. It's very difficult and challenging to do that. You know, to hold that openness, because you know there's a part of us that wants certainty, predictability. It's why we hold on to those habits so tightly, so comfortable in our habits. And that includes the habit of thinking, the habit of view, the habit of storytelling, the habit of selfing, creating that self with our stories, that internal dialogue. So mm, if we're empty, if we're open, spaciousness cannot harm spaciousness. That's what the pinnacle teachings talk about. It's what they say. Emptiness cannot harm emptiness. Spaciousness cannot harm spaciousness. So if we don't build these elaborate constructs, they won't get knocked down. Would be another way to say it. Well, thank you for that question, Nina.
I read something today. William Shatner, the actor that I guess he was in Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, went up in space. He must have gone on one of those, those rockets with, what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. You know who?
Some billionaire, yeah.
Right. And he said he thought he'd be amazed by outer space. In reality, he came back. He said, "No, it's right here. It's here where he is, and we have messing up the earth, but we need to take care of that and not look beyond it." To it just made me think about what I do, like projecting. Oh, well, next week it'll be better. It'll be better tomorrow or something, instead of being here now, being right here, and trying to fix things that, like you said, it cannot be fixed. There's, I'm not going to run over to Israel and start fighting or whatever it is. I mean, I'm thinking about it, but if I let it get me, like most people are so stressed, I just can't. It's not how I can function. So, and it's not helping anybody else,
Right.
really, to be so obsessive, or however you want to put it.
Well, that's a profound insight, Rhoda. That's really, really profound. When we, you know, when we talk about, uh, you know, making the world a better place, or changing the world, we often have these grandiose ideas about swaying large, you know, swaths of the population and doing this and changing laws and all kinds of things like that. And we can certainly work towards that, and perhaps even need to work towards, equality and caring for the earth and the environment, and understanding how our actions can and do and have influenced, our current state. Like William Shatner was reflecting, you know, there's all this out here, but this is where we live. We got to do something here, you know. But, so we often have these grandiose, huge ideas about what we think needs to happen. But in order to bring that change about, we have to change ourselves first. I know I keep saying this because it's so important. It's so important to understand that is the place to start, you know. And, each one of us has a tiny, minuscule influence, but that's where we have to start. That's where we have to begin, is changing these aspects of ourselves first. And then we can, with true integrity, share from there, share our experience, share our belief. And it sounds so much different to, talk about an idea versus to talk about something that you've really worked with inside yourself. It has a completely different weight and gravity to it. That's what's compelling. If we want to talk about changing people, that's what's going to compel. Is our how we are in the world, how we manifest, how we act, the way that we speak, and is it in integrity? Does it match what our beliefs are? That's what's compelling. When we sort of are assessing people, right? Politicians or people in authority, right? What happens when their actions don't match their words, right? We don't believe them. We suspect something. It's when, words and behavior have integrity, what I call integrity. They match. That's compelling. We believe people when they show us, right? It would have been so different if, Gandhi or Dr. King, just talked about these things rather than actually did these things, right? So, so recognizing, first of all, the futility of spinning out in this thoughts and feelings, right? Letting them sort of take control of us, rather to acknowledge what's happening in the present moment, work with that. Then we can consider, changing. And when we change ourselves, we've already changed the world. It's already happened. That's what we often forget. It's an inside job. It's an inside job. Thank you, Rhoda. That was a wonderful observation. Thank you. Anybody else? All right then. So I think that Scott put his email address in the chat. If you don't have it, why don't you take a look there, or if you don't have it, you can contact me and I can send it to you. And if you would like to send, I wasn't particularly clear about what he was asking about Taizan, maybe memories or information about Taizan that he can that Scott will then share with Dharma Voices for Animals.
Right.
They were the ones requesting information on Taizan and his passing. So letting people know.
It should be short, so just comment a line maybe, or
Okay.
paragraph. It's not going to be 2 paragraphs. I think I was there on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Bob Isaacson
Mhm.
runs Dharma Voices for Animals, right? And Sandy is sending, if she didn't already send, Taizan wanted those his artwork sent, the proceeds to go to that group or vegan outreach. Those are the two. But I asked for it to go to. I go to those things every month. They have something on a Sunday, so Dharma Voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So send those reflections, those short reflections, to Scott, and he will get that to the right person. Good. Well, those of you who are practicing in the Ongo, I hope it is going well. We're August. We're over halfway. We're about halfway. It will culminate in the first week of December. So, with the Rohatsu Sesshin. So, yes, we are moving towards. I hope your practice is deepening. I hope it is meaningful. So, let's keep going. Let's keep practicing. Thank you for your effort and your intention. And if you would like to contribute Dana to Myokoji, we could certainly use it as well. And the information is on the website. So have a wonderful week, you all, and I will look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.